Welcome to Front and Center Ice. As always, I'm your host, JC Zargo, joined as always by Tanner.
How's it going?
And I got a special guest today, MATTY Ice, joining the tribe. Nate's taking the day off, so we got MATTY Ice filling in and giving you the DFS stakes. How you doing today, man?
Not too bad, brother. Just trying to stay warm. It's a little chilly out here in Minnesota.
I hear you, man. I hear you. I felt bad about our weather down here in Memphis, but here when you got that minus 10, I should probably go play golf, go in this weather.
Yeah, pretty much.
We got a full slate of games going for you guys today, though. A lot to talk about, though, so let's just jump right into it. First on, we got the 1 o'clock Eastern game. New York Rangers taking on the New Jersey Devils. Man, this is a game I couldn't really get a read on. I was looking at all the different stuff. Igor is expected in net. He's been playing a lot better of late, but I don't know, man. No real lean in this game. Tanner, man, you finding something I'm not?
Not really. Like you said, tough to get a read. The Devils are on home ice, so I think I got to give them the edge there, especially with Andre Palat back in the lineup. He's just such a good depth player. And the Rangers it seems like they just keep mishmashing their lines and nothing really sticks with them. So tough to get a read on how that team's going to play. Like you said, Igor's been playing much better. He's not confirmed yet, but I definitely kind of lead towards the under on this one. It's sitting at 6 right now for minus 115. Just because these teams, with Igor playing so well and the way the Devils just possess the puck and control pace of play, I can see this kind of being like a 3-1 kind of grinder game. But I really don't have anything here that I'm super excited about. Maybe I know this is probably a one-off as far as DFS goes. I don't know if there's something over there that looks a little better. Not the greatest betting game for me.
Yeah, I mean,
sure.
on the DFS side, I kind of agree with you. I think it's going to end up being a lower scoring game. It does look like they did confirm Igor, so it looks like he's in. It does look like Palat's going to play as well, too. These teams know each other well. The Devils, to start the season, they were, number one in shots against and number one, and holding teams to low shots. I think Tanner's right, probably ends up like a 3-1 game. I give the edge to the Devils being on home ice with last change. They should be able to put Nico and Bratt and Palat on Mika and Kreider today. I'm assuming Nico will probably chase them around, but DFS wise, this feels like a game where you take a couple of shots, but not a game stack by any means.
So yeah, maybe a goalie play here or there.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Early game, too. I know a lot of DFS players normally just jump on the late slate, so no reason to.
I think this slate was this game and then the next one, I think, were the only two for the early games.
Yep. And next game from betting side is really interesting. Matty Ice, I'm interested to hear if you got any DFS takes. Carolina Hurricanes visiting the Columbus Blue Jackets. Hurricanes were on an 11-game winning streak. They've dropped their last 2 against the Rangers and the Predators. So, could be the ultimate get-right spot going into Columbus, but it could be another trap spot. Really tough to say. Given the line, that puck line sitting at minus 122, honestly, it's probably just a game I'll avoid. I don't know, Tanner, man. Any reason to give Columbus a second look?
No, none whatsoever. What happened the other night in Carolina with Saros was just a complete anomaly. They should have won that game maybe 15-3 or whatever it was. That's just outrageous shot pops. He was 1 away from 69, which is always a good chuckle. But it's just, yeah. I mean, after losing that game, Brind'Amour, the way he is, he's going to have this team coming out firing at them. I think maybe not quite 72 shots or whatever it was, but I mean, I could see the Hurricanes coming out hot. You're getting plus 110 for them puck line in the first period. That's probably about where I look. Maybe you go goal scorers. Martin Necas has been good. He's plus 150 as a goal scorer. But other than that, I really don't see a lot of value here. This is just such a lopsided matchup. The Hurricanes, they're just such a wagon right now, especially with Pacioretty back in the lineup. Once he finds his groove, this team's just going to be even better.
Yeah, that was I've never seen anything close to that many shots on goal. Wow, they put that many shots, especially and then didn't score as many. That was an obscene performance by Saros. But yeah, Matty Ice, man, get right spot here for Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to think so. I mean, they absolutely dominated that game against Nashville. But, like Tanner said, when I was looking at the box score the next morning and was, looking at some analytics stuff, I was just mind boggled that they won that game. I did see yesterday in practice, it looks like Pacioretty moved up to the top line. So that game against Nashville, he started on the fourth line, but it looks like he's running with Aho and Jarvis from the practice notes yesterday. From the DFS side, obviously Pacioretty, Svetch, Nakos, Aho, Burns, they're all in play against this Columbus team. They're not very good. If you wanted to get crazy on the Columbus side, I don't ever mind taking a shot at like a Gustav Nyquist. He's cheap. He's getting top power play run. He's always a threat to score shorthanded. But I would expect the Canes to come out and put on a show today. If this game ended up 5-1, 6-2, I would not be surprised at all.
For sure. But given that, I feel like we're probably staying away from that 6 over under.
Yeah, I'm interested in that.
Fair enough. Pretty straightforward first two. Well, not that straightforward, but enough said about the first two games. We'll move along, get into the later slate. Hopefully, we can start getting some hot takes here. On my slate, up next, I got the Detroit Red Wings visiting the Toronto Maple Leafs. Interesting game here. Toronto on a bit of a skid, but honestly, it just looks like another chalky game. Maple Leafs have won their last 8 in a row against the Red Wings. Matty Iceman, you got any faith in Detroit here?
This Leafs team is something else. They go through these stretches where they're just playing so damn well, and then for the last week they've looked like a AHL team. I have to lean on the side of Toronto here. Toronto's at home. They get last change. Matthews shouldn't have to face Larkin very much, so I would assume that Johnny's teeing it up with Larkin all night. I like the top line again, so I would look at Matthews and Nylander. One thing I did hear some rumors about is the Leafs have been running a 5-man forward power play for the last couple weeks. There are some rumors that Morgan's going to start to go back to the top power play tonight. That's something I'll need to confirm throughout the day. But if that's the case, on the DFS side of things, at least, I think he's real interesting because he's still priced in that lower 4K range. As for the Wings, I think you can, take a shot at a guy like Robbie Fabry, who's still cheap, who's coming back actually, he's not going to play today, is he? He's not going to play today, so they're going to sit him on a back-to-back. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think I have much interest in the Wings here. I'll probably be on the Leafs side of things.
Okay. Tanner, man, what about you?
Me and the Leafs have some beef right now. They're momentarily on my do not play list. I think they've burned me 4 or 5 times over the last 2-3 weeks. So I have nothing good to say about them whatsoever. They're on my do not play list right now. So I'm hands off.
Okay. I was feeling the over 6.5. Matty, am I overthinking it here? I have too much faith in Detroit.
No, I think Toronto's going to score some goals, and Matt Murray's been absolutely terrible. So I mean, if I was looking at betting that over under, I would be looking over 6. I could see like a 5-3 game, pretty easily.
Fantastic, right on. Something to consider. Cool. We're moving right along here. Up next game, we were talking about pre-show Minnesota Wild at the Buffalo Sabres. Matty Ice, you were dropping some news that could affect both bettors and DFS. Get a nice little payout. Talk to the people.
Yeah, so I did see this morning that Zuccarello is going to sit for the Wild for the next 2 games. It doesn't sound like it's anything serious. It looks like Ryan Hartman's going to move to the top line with Kaprizov and Steele. He's also going to move to the top power play. Obviously, losing Zucky's quite important to the Wild. He's been absolutely incredible. If you go back and look at his numbers from December, I believe he was top 5 in the NHL in points, which is actually pretty impressive. From a DFS standpoint, I think this is probably the game of the night, in my opinion. You have 2 high-flying offenses. I do like Buffalo going against my team, even though it kills me to say that a little bit. But Thompson, Tuck, Skinner line, they should be able to avoid Eck tonight with last change. I think Kaprizov is basically matchup proof, similar to a McKinnon or, McDavid. I don't think it really matters who they go up against. I expect this one to be a high flying game. If this game ends up 6-5, 6-4, I wouldn't be shocked in the slightest.
Fantastic. So over under sit at 6.5. Matty Ice in the over. Tanner, man, what do you think on this game?
Yeah, this is definitely an overs game. Like you said, it's two just absolutely electric offenses, offense first type teams. And like you said, being on home ice, Buffalo should be able to get Thompson and Tuck off that Eriksson Ek line, so you can get them buzzing up and down the ice. I do like Tage Thompson here and Kaprizov are both plus 110 as goal scorers. So I mean, for two guys who are scoring who can score the way those two guys do, you're giving me plus money on that. I mean, you have to consider that at least. And going back, like you said, Ryan Hartman's going to be stepping into that top power play and top line spot. He's a minus 105 to record a point, and I think that's probably my second favorite bet on this game aside from the over. So yeah, definitely a good DFS spot for sure, the way I expect this game to pop off. I mean, you get UPL in that. I think Fleury's in that for the Wild. I don't know if that was confirmed or not, but this should definitely be an electric game to watch for sure.
It should be Fleury tonight because Gustafsson is sick.
Then yeah, so Fleury hasn't been as good as he's been in the past, so I like that one a lot.
Fantastic. Yeah. And then I don't know if Matty, I said it, but Hartman is plus 260 anytime goal scorer. Great value there for bettors if you want to take a flyer on that one. Matty Ice, man, Buffalo Sabres, a team we talked about a lot on the show. I want to get your opinion. They're just such an anomaly. They lead the league in scoring. They average nearly 4 goals a game. And they're climbing up the standings a little bit, not as far down as they once were, man. But what do you think the outlook on the season is for this Sabres team?
I think they're dangerous, to be honest. They've had a lot of injuries on the back end, on the defensive side of things. They got Power back. There's some other guys on that back end. They've been playing like a Labushkin and guys like that who just aren't very good out of just necessity. When you can score like this, you can stay in hockey games. We saw it last year with the Wild as well, too. It's a very similar instance where we were kind of leaky in net, but no lead was safe. I think the Wild led the league in comebacks last year.
Oh, lost Matty Ice. That's all right. We'll give him to finish that opinion when it comes back. Tanner, man, you have any other thoughts on this game before we move along?
No, I guess kind of adding what he said. I think they're pretty dangerous the way they score too, and they've got a goalie prospect. I can't remember his first name, but Levy. He's in the running for the Hobie Baker Trophy in college hockey right now. So I don't know if he's going to be NHL ready when that season ends, but if he transfers over to the NHL the way he's playing, you give them a good goaltender and lower their goals against, from 23rd to even 15th or something, they should be able to light teams up with the way they're scoring.
For sure. Now, what do you think they do with the goalie position this season, though? Do you got faith in Luke? Is Anderson step up, or what do you think they have to do there to kind of take this team to the next level?
I mean, I want to bash Comrie because, he's 85 years old. How long can he play to the level he's playing? I mean, he's 7-5, which isn't, stellar, but he's got a .923 save percentage, 261 goals against. He has solid numbers. And the way that team gets shot on, I mean, he's seeing shots every night. So I don't know. The goaltending and defense is the biggest mystery with the Sabres.
No doubt. Will be interesting to see what happens to them as the season progresses. But we'll move along. Next game on my slate, I got the Seattle Kraken visiting the Ottawa Senators. Kraken had a bit of a losing skid there, but they've won 3 in a row, taking out some big names too, defeating the Leafs, Oilers, and Islanders. Ottawa, another team, kind of turned things around. They're on a heater. They've won 4 of their last 5, 8 of their last 12. So something's got to give, though, here with these two teams matching up. Pretty even on the money line. Tanner, who you got?
I think I like the Senators here, just being on home ice. They have such an elite top 6 scoring lines right there. They can light teams up if they want to. And just being on home ice, they get that second change, just dictate who they want and where. I think my favorite one here is definitely the over, though. Like you said, both these teams have been scoring. I mean, against Toronto, the Kraken put up 5. Edmonton, they put up 5. Like, they're putting up numbers. We all know Ottawa can put up numbers. So, I mean, the over sitting at 6 for -120. Just give me the even number there. I'll take the push on that. That's fine. I think 6 is a very manageable game. This could easily be a 4-2 type game. So I definitely like that. And I think, I don't know if Matty thinks as far as DFS, I think Ottawa is a pretty good team for tonight, just the way the Kraken have been very leaky on their away games.
Yeah, for sure. That was the one play. I really didn't have a leaning either way on the outcome of this game, but I did like the over for sure. Matty Iceman, if you want to finish your thought on the Sabres, you can, but we've been talking Kraken Senators.
Yeah, back to what I was saying on the Sabres, when you can score like that, I think you can win games, especially with the way the game's played nowadays. As for Ottawa, they're starting to get healthy. I like them tonight. The Kraken have been kind of what Toronto has been to Tanner for me. Like, I just can't seem to get them right.
Miserable.
Great spots end up getting hammered, and then terrible spots they end up winning. I still think you have to favor the Sens here. I like that top line in DFS of Timmy Stu, Kachuk, and Giroux. Giroux's been kind of quiet lately, but he is getting power play work, and I do like that he works the PK here. Other than that, if you want to go to the other side to Seattle, because I believe it's Forsberg in net tonight. I saw that.
Yeah.
This Kraken team has scored goals. McCann, Eberle, Burakovsky, Vince Dunn's been really good as of late. If you do like the Sens and you're looking for like a cheap run back, you could go with like a Justin Schultz as well, who's getting power play time and decent minutes. I believe he's in the low 3Ks on DraftKings. But this should be a fun game, from a DFS perspective, if you're looking for a pivot, say, off of, the Buffalo Wild game tonight.
With a 6 over under, well, what do you feel on that? You feel like this game's going to see some goals too then?
Yeah, I think this one will go over. If it was Talbot in net, I would be a little weary because, as somebody who had Talbot on their team for a long time, he runs really hot, really cold. I'm not a big believer in Anton Forsberg, so I think we can see some goals here. And the Kraken goalies have been, they haven't been good all year. So
fair enough. Before we move on, a reminder, we are presented by Run Pure Sports. This will be our last show on the Bets YouTube channel. Starting Tuesday, we will be moving over to the main Run Pure channel. Also a later time slot. Tuesdays and Thursdays will be on at 3 p.m. Eastern, and then we're going earlier on Saturdays, looking at a 9 a.m. slot on Saturdays. Of course, if you're in the Discord, you can just look out for those notifications, subscribe, notify the YouTube channel as well. And if you're not a subscriber, don't know what you're waiting on. Matty Ice and Nadesify, dropping core plays every day in NHL. One price, though, you get all the sports. We're hammering golf with getting underway. Tennis season opening up. NFL playoffs. It's a great time to join. You get all the sports for one price. But if you're still a little weary, I'm not really sure what we're all about, check out our shows. Check out our website. Tanner's putting out NHL Best Bets articles every day. I'm putting out free articles every day. Just come check it out. Great content. Next game on the slate, it's kind of a crappy one that I kind of just looked right over. St. Louis Blues visiting the Montreal Canadiens. I'm having trouble finding value in this one, but I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. Tanner, what do you got?
Call me crazy. I don't hate the Canadiens here. I know they're 1-8-2 in their last 10, 6-game losing streak, and St. Louis has put me on my place a few times, mainly against the Leafs the other day. But I don't know. Some of the Canadiens to me are like the Coyotes when they're on home ice. I mean, St. Louis has been a great coach for them. He's so good at picking the matchups, and Suzuki's really cooled off. But if he starts picking back up, like, he's going to start scoring. And I think he hasn't scored in his last 6 games or something like that. Caulfield, the whole team's kind of slowed down. But with Jake Allen and net, I think anything's possible. I don't know if I can bring myself to take the bet or confidently tell other people to take that one, but I wouldn't be shocked to see the Canadiens pull a win out here, and you're getting plus 135 on that one. But yeah, like you said, not a game I really love.
If I had to make a pick, I would definitely take the Canadiens. I still have a strong feeling. But I don't know, man. If you're on it too, I might throw some money on that plus
I might be
135.
sprinkling a little bit. I don't know how much how confident I am in it, but I don't hate that one. I think as far as dogs go, I haven't really looked too much at what's my favorite dog, but I definitely put that one towards the top.
Yeah, for sure. And a pretty chalky slate. I don't hate that play at all. Matty Ice, Mike Carr's digging that reverse or retro. Oh, excuse me.
Reverse retro.
Reverse. Thank you. Reverse retro jersey. Don't know what happened.
It's
there.
early.
Had it ready to go. It is a beauty. But let's get your take on this game.
Yeah, I mean, I actually kind of agree with Tanner. I prefer taking shots on Montreal when they're at home. You know, on the DFS side of thing, you know, Jake Allen, he's been a part of many of my shippers. We call him an RPS hero over in the Discord streets. He should be starting tonight. This Blues team, you know, they're goofy. I really thought they were going to fold up after the news with, you know, of O'Reilly and Tarasenko being out for some time. Then they go up to Toronto, drop a 5 or 6 bomb, and then they go into Jersey and win in Jersey, which I didn't expect. You know, you look at it, you're thinking, okay, well, the Blues probably going to Montreal and blow them out. You know, Montreal's been leaky as can be. But this kind of feels like a letdown spot for the Blues for me. That's just what my gut's telling me. I don't mind Montreal here. If I was playing them, it would certainly be the Suzuki, Dach, and Caulfield line. I think Dvorak's obviously interesting. He's working the top power play, and he's pretty cheap from the DFS side. As for the Blues, I still think Braden Shen's incredibly too cheap. I think he's still under 4K. You know, Kyrou you could consider in GPPs, but he's quite expensive. But I think I will be taking some shots at Montreal tonight, especially on the DFS side. And you know, if you wanted to get wild and bet the Habs at home at plus money, I don't hate that at all.
Right on. And then that game is sitting at a 6.5 over under. It's kind of a stay away from me, but Matty, you're shaking your head. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, if the Habs win this game, I think it'll be like a maybe a 4-2. I would probably stay away from the over under. Yeah. I would prefer to bet the Habs at plus money than attack that over under.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so both these teams are so streaky with their goal scoring.
Huh?
I said both these teams are just so streaky with their goal scoring. So yeah, I don't want nothing to do with that over under.
Can't argue with that. Oh, now this is probably my favorite game on the night. LA Kings visiting the Vegas Golden Knights. Kings are a dog I like in this one. Historically, these teams are well matched. They play great games, entertaining games. But a case can easily be made for both teams. So Tanner, man, what side are you on?
I don't know. These are two teams that I can't really quite figure out myself. It seems one game they're both, you know, lockdown defensive teams, and the other they just bust it wide open and score, you know, 5-6 goals. I think I don't mind the Kings getting plus money for them there. They're on the road though, so I just with Eichel back in the lineup. I mean, they really embarrassed the Penguins the other day, but with him back in the lineup, I think I've got to stick with Vegas on this one. I kind of like the under here. You're getting even money for under 6. The way these teams can lock it down, I don't think. And the Knights are going to do their best to, you know, shut down. And there's no Trevor Moore for LA right now. They lost him to injury, I believe. So, I don't know, not the most exciting game from my perspective, but I definitely am on the Knights side here. For sure.
Matty Iceman, have you been playing these Golden Knights with all the injuries they've been sustaining? Are you staying away, or where are you finding value?
You know, I think I have some interest in them tonight. Not a ton, but from what I'm reading here, so it looks like Marchessault is going to be back. It looks like he's going right to the top line. So it looks like that top line is going to be Riley, Smith, Jack, and March. And then it does look like Alec Martinez is going to play tonight as well. You know, so this Vegas team has been banged up. They've been surprisingly scrappy. You know, I've been a big Kings backer all year long, but Vegas is such a tough place to play. I have to back the Knights here. I just don't think I can go to the Kings. I agree with Tanner. I like the under 6 at even money. Yeah, I see this being like a 3-1 Knights win. It just kind of what hits me right off the top of my head.
Interesting take. It's funny you should say that because I was looking at the numbers. Looking at their last 9 games, the total has been at least 6 goals. So again, looking at their last 9, the total's been 6 or more. So a little worse. I was looking at a push, so I was feeling the over here. But I mean, given the goalies, an under makes more sense, man. But those numbers just telling me over.
Yeah. For me, it's just about the reinforcements coming for Vegas. They just have so much talent, and they've been running with Paul Cotter on the top line and Mike Amadio. It's a little bit different story for me when you get a Jonathan Marchessault back, when you get a Alec Martinez back. I think Alec Martinez is one of the most underrated defensemen in the history of the NHL. I've said that for absolutely years. That guy's a winner. All he does is block shots. He's a hell of a player. I'm with Tanner on this one. I got to hold on Vegas, and I'd like to under.
Okay. And then are we feeling Eichel's props? He was out for a while. Thursday had that first game back against Pittsburgh. Found 3 points. Pretty wild. Are we liking any props there?
I don't hate that. You're getting plus 135 for him as a goal scorer. I think for someone who can fire the puck, he does. I don't think that's a bad play whatsoever. The Kings have been leaky. They give up a lot of shots, especially on the road. Not a lot, but a decent amount. But shots on goal for him, you're getting plus 120 for over 3.5. I don't hate that either. He does shoot the puck a decent amount. And with Marchessault and them back in the lineup, I just think their power play is going to be clicking a lot better and open up chances for him to shoot the puck. So, yeah, I definitely will be interested to see more in what he does. I mean, you're getting minus 230 for him to record a point, so maybe I don't go there. But I do like his goal score there. You're getting plus 135 on a guy who can really let it fly.
Yeah, and being on home ice, they should avoid that Denault Arvidsson line.
Yeah.
That's kind of the Kings, stopper line is they put those guys out there. So they'll probably end up with Kopitar and Kempe, which I prefer that matchup much better.
Right on. Cool. Anything else before we move along?
Nothing from me, boys.
Nope.
Cool. Awesome. Another interesting game on the slate. Not quite the matchup one thought it might be at the beginning of the season. Colorado Avalanche visiting the Edmonton Oilers. Oilers continue to fall in the standings. They're only 2 points up on the Predators, so they're hanging on to the playoff picture. The Avalanche are currently out of it, but, we're not even halfway through the season. That's why we play a full one. Avalanche, we know, storyline just been injuries. If they can get healthy, I'm sure they'll get on a roll. But, Matty Iceman, what's your take on this Oilers team? Another team we talk about a lot on this show. Curious to get your take. 2 of the best players in the league, if not the best 2, and they can just not find their groove.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I'm a huge McDavid fan. I'm a huge Draisaitl fan. But just to watch them be absolutely wasted year after year is just utterly, utterly painful to me. They just don't have any depth, and that's the issue. It's quite interesting. I should have brought it up when I saw this game on the schedule, but I went back and was looking at the Oilers with Evander Kane and without Evander Kane. And it is like a night and day difference. It's quite amazing how much one player added so much grit and scoring depth to that team. I mean, Connor and Leon, they're going to run the 22 to 25 minutes every single night. That's just what they do. This is a sneaky game from the DFS side for me. The Avs are starting to get pieces back. They still have Lincoln, and they still have Rant, Toews, Makar, and the Oilers, are super streaky. I have to imagine Mac and Connor are quite excited to be facing each other tonight. I mean, when you're that good, you get up for playing upper talent. This would be my favorite pivot off the Wild Sabres game, if for DFS. Because I think everybody's going to be hammering that Wild and Sabres game. You can get Mac and Connor in this one, and there's some cheaper pieces. You can go to like a JT Compher, for Colorado, who's been pretty priced mid-range, still getting top power play work. You can go over to the Edmonton side of things. I know the other night he didn't get a ton of run up there because they got down early, but like a Klim Kostin, he's running on the top line right now. He's probably Stone Min, and then that second line of Nugent Hopkins, Draisaitl, and Hyman. is very, very dangerous. So, if you're looking for a way to get different tonight, don't want to play that Wild Sabres game, I think the Avalanche Oilers game, it is sneaky. When you have guys with that much talent, they're going to find the back of the net.
Yeah, fair enough. No, really funny you point that out. It was. I noticed the difference immediately when Vander Kane went out. Say what you want about the guy as a human, but he is a difference maker on the defensive side.
Shit human, great hockey player.
Yeah, exactly. They've just been terrible since he left, and it's depressing to see. You make the comparison. I mean, it reminds me for our baseball fans, like the Angels, having to see Trout and Ohtani just wasted in Anaheim. Same thing here with the Oilers, man. Every time it looks like they're putting something together, it just doesn't quite come to fruition for them. But long season, a lot can happen. Tanner, man, how about you? What's your read on this game and any thoughts you got on these two franchises?
I mean, yeah, I do think they're wasting away up in Alberta there, but I don't know where they go from there. The asking price for him at this point is just so ridiculous. But if Gretzky can get traded, anyone can get traded. But these are two teams I've had a hard time getting a read on just because, I mean, the Avalanche, like you said, just injury plague. Those will they get one guy in and two more guys get hurt. So their depth is definitely hurting in that department. No Erod in for him tonight. So JT Compher is still getting that second line run. So I do like him. I think you're getting good numbers here as far as good prop payouts for McKinnon. I mean, he's plus 140 as a goal scorer for a guy who shoots the puck as much as he does and the way he does. Like, this game's going to be very back and forth. I like the over on it. It's in a 6.5. You're getting minus 105. I just think these both teams have had some scoring troubles recently just because, like I said, Colorado's been so injury-ridden. It's been their top goal-scoring guys. So I think you're getting good value on that. And, yeah, McKinnon at plus 140 as a goal scorer is a crime for him to be that high, or for, I guess, that low of odds for him to score. So I definitely like him to score in the overs where I go here. And, yeah, I even with I'm not sure if I get there quite with the prices on some of these guys TFS wise. I mean, McDavid, you need him to put up a 25 piece for it to even really be worth it. Same with, McKinnon, Rantanen and all them. But I do think there's a lot of potential here for some goals.
So you're liking that over 6.5?
Yeah, I'm liking the over on this one. It's two teams that can let it go. And like you said, the good, like, these guys play up, especially McKinnon. He's one of the most psychotic competitors you're ever going to see. If you ever see some of his behind the scenes stuff, he's a legit psychopath when it comes to competing. So you give him someone like McDavid to skate up against, he's just going to come out and perform.
Well, rumor has it he went ballistic in the locker room the other day.
I believe it.
I got it on good accord. He went ballistic. He was not happy.
I've heard stories of him like smashing like snacks out of guys' hands after losses, like saying you don't deserve it, stuff like that. Like, he just goes nuts when they lose.
So I don't think I've really, though, heard a game opinion from either of you guys. Edmonton's getting a bit of an edge on the money line, but who do you think's going to win this game?
I mean, for me, I would back the Oilers at home, but it's slim, and that's only because I think, you look at these rosters, kind of like Tanner said, they're both banged up, so it's like, all right, you got Arturi, Mac, Rantanen, and Makar versus Leon, Jesus, Nugent and Hyman. I think Skinner's been a little bit better than Georgiev the last couple of weeks, so I guess I give the slight lean to the Oilers on home ice.
Yes, I agree with that. I just think being on home ice, they kind of avoid some of those matchups, try to open things up for McDavid or Draisaitl. But yeah, I don't think they're as big a favorites as the minus 120 are saying. I'd give it much closer to a pick 'em. Not that it's a huge favorite anyway, but yeah, I definitely give the edge a little bit to the Oilers here, just because home ice.
All right, I hate to pose you guys, but I just don't see Colorado losing 6 games in a row. So I'm going to take the plus money with the Avalanche, and one of us will come out on top. Last game on the slate, Boston Bruins visiting the San Jose Sharks. Best team in hockey. Matty Iceman, any reason to give the Sharks a second look? Bruins have won 9 games in a row against the Shark. This team is so good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any interest in San Jose tonight. San Jose has kind of been a DFS darling for us just because, they're usually chasing and pushing, and, Timo shoots from half, center ice if he gets the chance. But Boston's going to be too much for them. San Jose played last night, too, and lost to the Ducks, so they're on a back-to-back. Boston put the big three back together. I don't really think it matters who, San Jose lines up against them tonight. I like the Bruins. I think it's a great late night hammer spot. I would assume we're going to see Reimer in net tonight since Capo Kakinen with last night. Right, but yeah, I like Boston here. I think on the DFS side of things, you could get a little weird, and look at it even a lower tier line for Boston, like a Coyle and Foligno or something like that. If you needed something cheap, I could see Boston being up, 2 or 3 goals in this game. They're so damn stingy, and they play great hockey all around. Allmark's been great. I'm not sure if he's been confirmed in net tonight, but if he's in, he's been locked down. So, I mean, I just have no interest in the Sharks. Anybody see what the puck line was on Boston? I didn't see it.
-2. Oh, puck line's -110.
-110? I'd take a shot at that. I typically don't like, flying at those, but I feel pretty confident in Boston letting it rip tonight.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's Sharks, they're a scrappy team. They're capable of covering. But this Boston team, I feel like it's going to be just too much for them. And like you said, coming off the back-to-back, feels like an easy play. Tanner, are we all on the same page?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see any reason the Sharks win this one. Like I said, they're on a back-to-back, even being on home ice. And like we always talk about it, teams going east to west, but the Bruins have been out there for a few days now. And the way they're playing right now, they should absolutely hammer this Sharks team. I was trying to even think of like what would be my favorite bet on here. I guess puck line at -105 would probably be the best one here because I mean there's absolutely no reason go to the money line unless you want to throw into a parlay. But beyond that, there's not a lot here. This is just be a smash spot for the Bruins.
Yeah, completely agree. Matty, man, what's your take on this Sharks team? I'm a fan of a lot of their players. They got a lot of great guys on that team, but they just suck. Is it time to just blow it up in San Jose, or do you think there's any hope for them in the playoffs?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you look at it on paper, right? And they have so much talent. Erik Karlsson's been rejuvenated the last couple years. Timo Meier's been absolutely fantastic. They got 2 good centermen in Hertl and Couture. You would think they would be better, but they can't just quite seem to figure it out. The depth guys just can't seem to quite, take that next step. You have guys like, Kevin LeBanc, who just kind of end up in the middle, and they just can't take that next step. And then outside of Karlsson on the back end, they don't have anybody. You got Matt Bennings and Vlasic, who I call Pickle, but just guys who they're good defensive players, right? But I think hockey's changed so much in the last 5 years that playing that really defensive style of hockey is not optimal anymore. And you can see San Jose is trying to do it, but they just don't have the pieces. It's very similar to like the Oilers for me, right? You can't play Connor 35 minutes a night, and that's what they need. And that's what the Sharks need from Timo and Karlsson is they need him to play 35 minutes a night, but you just can't do it. So they're a fun team to watch, especially like I said, from a DFS side and like Nades. He's the biggest Timo homer in the world. I think he's been in every Nade score for the last month. But they're great from the DFS side. But as a hockey team, they're just not very good. I don't know what the right answer is there. I'd have to look more into their contracts and stuff too to see, how locked into Timo and Karlsson and all those guys are they. We saw it with the Wild a couple years ago. We had to send Parise packing and Suter packing. We're still paying them, but it was just time to do it.
Fair enough. I like it. Can't argue with that. Anything else on this game?
No, that what you're saying is, like you said, the whole team's made up of good players on a bad team, and it just somehow doesn't work out. It's just interesting because they're so bad, but they're the second best penalty kill. They have a decent power play. So when they're best
time I see their
best players are on the ice, they're good.
Mind-boggling.
It's crazy.
I'm like, you're number 2 in the league and you can't win games.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like when their best players are out there, they can compete with anybody. But yeah, once you get down to even the second, third line, they're just getting buried by guys.
It's a weird league. You see a lot of stats that would indicate a team is good, and it doesn't always correlate directly.
Right.
Okay. Now we get to do everyone's favorite part of the show, the best bets. But before we do that, just a reminder, presented by Run Pure. Come check us out. Bets, fantasy cores going up every day across every sport. And if you're a subscriber, man, we love seeing you guys in the Discord. Anytime you got any questions, betting, DFS related, throw it up in there. Always happy to talk hockey. But getting right into it, best bets, whether it's a line, prop, over, under, or just a DFS gem. Tanner, we'll start with you.
I mean, yeah, we mentioned it earlier. I'm going to go with my dog of the day. Give me the Canadiens money line plus 135. I just like them on home ice. And I mean, the Blues have been giving it to me the last few games, but I think it's finally time where the injuries come home and the Canadiens take the win here.
Right on. Matty Ice, what you got for the people?
I'm going to go with the Ryan Hartman anytime goal that Tanner had mentioned earlier. I was gonna save that and let him take it, but since he didn't take it, that's what I'm going to go with.
You're the wild guy. I'll let you handle that one.
He's moving to the top line tonight in the top power play. He gets to play with Krill the Thrill. You're getting that at plus money. I think that's a great look tonight in a game that should
plus
be
260.
Very offensive.
Great payout.
Fantastic. I love it. Me, man, I hate to go against y'all, but I'm going to take or I guess just Matty Ice. I'm taking the Kings Knights over 6 goals. If you're really feeling frisky, you can parlay that with the Minnesota Wild over. That's good for a plus 236 payout. Me, personally, I'm a straight better, but your money, do with it what you want. Before we get out of here, any closing remarks for the people, Matty Ice?
Nah, I got nothing. It should be a fun slate tonight. Excited to watch some hockey. We got a little football on tonight as well, and excited to have you guys over on the Run Pure Sports YouTube page now. Yeah. So that's pretty exciting, and I'll do my best to join you guys and Nades as much as I can. So I enjoy talking a little hockey with you guys. It's nice to see the hockey streets get some love, goddammit.
I know. Absolutely, I'm finally making it to the big times.
Tanner with the betting, Matty Ice with the DFS. Like Matt said, Tuesday, we'll be on the Betch channel, 3 p.m., so don't come looking for us early in the day. We'll be on later in the afternoon on the Betch channel. We appreciate all of you joining us. Have a great day, and Run Pure.